Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to a brand new YouTube video. In this YouTube video, I'm going to go over the EMAs and what this represents, right? I personally don't use EMAs too much, but again, I used to use them. It's more like training wheels before actually becoming a very good trader. So I'll explain how you can use this to your advantage and how a lot of other people use it. You can use it for day trading, swing trading, whatever you name. But you can also use it as confluence, etc. What is the EMA? So an EMA is something that measures trends over a period of time. For example, the EMA9 could be over a period of 9 days or 9 previous closing price. Again, it's different every time frame. So on the daily, it'll be different based on the 9 previous days, 4 hour based on the previous 4 hour time frames, 30 minutes, etc. Again, this helps predict price, and of course, you've got the main what it stands for over here. So again, the EMAs. What EMAs are there? What are the most common ones from what I know? You got the EMA9, then you got the EMA20/21, but it's essentially the same. Then you got the EMA50 and the EMA200. I will be going over each one on an actual chart, but first we're going to go through each one on this document. If you guys are interested in watching more of this video, please guys hit that like button, subscribe, and I'm going to drop even more videos as we go along. Now, using the EMA9. EMA9 is used more for short-term continuation. Again, me as a day trader, if I was to use something and base my trading off something, it would be the EMA9. I'd use this on the 5-minute time frame, even the 30-minute possibly. But you can use this to your advantage, right? You can use it as a confluence to see if a trade's bullish, or you can use it as an EMA crossover, and which could help you give you more bullish bias when trading. EMA20. It's not necessarily a swing trade, it's not necessarily for short term, but it is for a day trader, right? This could be used for pullbacks, for intraday bounce. So when you get a play dip below the EMA9, the EMA20 will be there for a potential intraday bounce, right? It could be a longer term bounce. Plays drop below the first level of support. This could be there to be used as an extra confluence. Again, you can identify trend. I'll show you as we go along in the video. Then you got the EMA50, right? And the EMA50 is used for more of a longer term pullback. Not necessarily longer term in the sense that over a year, but something maybe if you're looking at for next day trade, or you're looking for a bounce even on that day. So you might be looking for a longer term bounce intraday, and you can use this to your advantage, use it as an area of support. Swing traders also use this. They'll probably use this as a swing trade to see if the EMA50 plays bouncing off, if they're already in a play. And a lot of people, they can use this to add to positions, to see if the trend is still strong. Will the EMA50 hold it up? Again, use it as a confluence. Don't just use it on its own. Don't enter play just because it hits the EMA50, right? Otherwise, you're setting yourself up to failure. Now, we got the EMA200, which for me is the last kind of barrier before play dumps kind of thing. This is more for longer term trades, used by swing traders to establish longer term trends, and again, helps with confluence as support zones, right? So the 200 will be over the last 200 closing prices, and the daily last 200 of the 5 minute, so how many times it's closing the 5 minute, and it gives you the overall where it could bounce. Again, you can use this as a confluence. So these are what EMAs are, but how can we use this? And let's go through each and every single EMA now. Now, let's go to our chart. Let's start with LUMN. I want to start with the EMA9. So I will be switching off the other indicators. So let's just go to our indicator settings. So this is how you could set it up on Webull as well. Just go to indicator settings, go to your EMAs, introduction, style. So let's start off with the EMA9. Done. So we start off with LUMN, and this is a trade that's been running for the last few days. It's been a nice runner. Let's just turn our EMA on, and there you go. So how could you use this to your advantage as a day trader, right? And you can quite clearly see when the play shifts and the way play dips when the play starts to rise. So we start off here. The play pushes up, and we see the EMA trend is quite clearly establishing a trend, right? The play is above the EMA9, and now what happens? It makes a new high. So you could use this as a confluence when entering this play. Let's say you're above the EMA9, you could be like, okay, we're bullish, we're above the EMA9, we're not below the EMA9, so it won't act as resistance. For a short-term trend, I'm going to wait for a close above the EMA9, and I could look for entries in the play, especially if everything else aligns. So this is a good way to use it on a short-term basis. Now we continue looking. It closes below, it makes a low just here, which is a pretty significant drop. So a lot of sellers, what they do is they get in here, and look, you see it, and it drops about 8%. and then it starts to reclaim the EMA9 again, and you see once it closes above the EMA9, it looks and it makes a new high, right? And again, you just see how it's following the EMA9 trend. This is used a lot for short-term trends. You just see, look, it's just following it perfectly. Every time it's struggling to break and acting as a resistance. So you could really use this as a short-term trend, short-term way to trade. Use it as an area of resistance, even an area of support. So even see here, look, acting resistance, it breaks. Not able to continue through, but again, it makes that little push towards, tries to push towards that new leg, but fails. But again, look here, once it closes below, it just makes new lows, and then reclaims again of this downtrend break. Look, starts to reclaim, it closes straight above, and again, pushes again towards that same level. So EMA9, it could really be used for short-term trend. You could use it as a short-term base. Let's take a look at an Apple, something like Apple. Again, look, it's just always there, right? The EMA9 is fine, the EMA9. Once it clears the EMA9, it's running comfortably, and it's a lot easier to trade. And again, look, all day today, even was fine the EMA9. It wasn't able to really establish a level above the EMA9, and then it closes below. But yeah, this can be essentially used for shorter-term trends, the EMA9. Now let's just add another indicator on, and let's just go for the EMA20, right? And you'll see how a lot of people use this as a way to bounce off plays, use it as a short-term level as well. It'll be very similar to the EMA9, not exactly the same, but it'll be similar. And you see where plays start bouncing, the EMA20 is used. So this is used more for short-term indication. Let's just go to the EMA introduction, style, turn this off. Let me turn the EMA9 off. So I want it to be more clear for you guys, right? I'll mix it all in together as well at one point. EMA9, EMA20, okay. Now you see this, the EMA9 was slightly higher, right? It was slightly higher. It was following price a lot closer. Why? Because it's the 9, right? So it's a shorter term trend. This is more of a, I want to say mid-term trend, but it's a bit of a longer trend where people use this as an area where price might bounce. But you see here clearly, look, the price followed the EMA9. If you remember, as we were talking, it pushed up and then it dropped down. Where did it drop? It dropped to the EMA20. The EMA20 recovered, it held the EMA20, and it just pushed through and it made new highs, 9.58. And then again, we come back down, we drop under the EMA20, makes lows, it struggles to break, it holds, it pushes this level, and then again, look, it's just the same, right? It can be used as a confluence, but the EMA20 is essentially used as the same way. You want to use it as a confluence. You just don't want to base entry just based on the EMA9. You want to mix it in. You want to wait for pullbacks, and it could be used to your advantage. Let's look at something like NVDA. So look, Nvidia hasn't been able to really reclaim the EMA20 all day, and it could be a good short. Look, we come back, we try to retest the EMA20 here, we break below, make a low, make a low, make another low, tries to reclaim, not able to follow through, low, and now it's trying to hold. If it, like for this example, if it does a hold here, it should push down even more. So it's trying to hold the EMA20, right? Look, the EMA20 is clearly being used as support. Look here. See, it's just clearly being used as an area of support. If it doesn't bounce here, expect another push towards the lows, 97. But again, this could be used again as an area of support intraday. You can use it as a confluence to see what it does. Again, look at this just here on the INDO. We get a pullback. Play pushes up. It pushes up all the way to this level, right? This was yesterday. Then it pulls back, and look, it holds the EMA20 quite well just here. We're flying just below it. We reclaim, we push. We come back down again, flying with the EMA20, push. And then again, it tries to hold the EMA20. Look at that exact bounce. It bounces, then it breaks down. So whenever this can be used as an area of support, whenever it pulls back, you could use this as an area, a confluence to help you with the support zones. Now let's use another EMA, for example, the EMA50. The EMA50 is more of a, again, a slightly longer term. It's going to be very similar as well, but not too similar. It's going to be a slightly lower price because it is over a 50 day period, 50 last closing prices. So on the 5-minute chart, it'll calculate the last closing prices and it'll give you an average. So look, again, more of a perfect bounce, more of a perfect trend. You see the 5-minute bouncing perfectly right off the EMA50, right? A lot of traders are using this for areas of dips, longer term dips. So anyone that wants to swing a play, what they would do is they use the EMA50, and you see it's following that trend. Well, now look, possibly if you're a longer term trader, you're looking for a dip around 3.3, if you're looking at the daily chart, and you're even longer, 2.7 possibly. But yeah, that's all the basing off. So if you're trading this as a day trader, you're possibly looking at the 30-minute chart and looking at area around 3.3 to see if it bounces off. Let's look at LUMN for this. See, it doesn't touch on the LUMN. It doesn't quite touch it. It touches it once, and look, it just bounces instantly. There, once, twice, 2 times bounce. Third time, it tried to close below. It couldn't close below. It bounces. 5, 6, 7 bounces. Again, breaks below, makes new lows, reclaims, pushes, and again, see, it's trying to bounce. Every time we touch the EMA50, we bounce. We have a nice bounce. So it could really be used as a confluence with the EMA50 longer term. Now let's go to the next one, and let's go to the EMA200. This is going to be long term. EMA200, there you go. See, so now this is even lower, right? It's a longer term, over 200 last closing prices. So look, it's just the trend follows, right? The trend is bullish. As soon as we close under the EMA200, then it's going to become a bit, then you could be like, okay, this might not really bounce instantly. But this is what it's been used as. So the EMA200 is more of a longer thesis. A lot of people use it as a sport or even a trend where they're like, okay, if it drops the EMA200, I'm going to let my runners go. Or if you're a swing trader, you're like, okay, the EMA200, we can use it. If we break above the EMA200, the 4-hour chart, look for entry on the swing. Same with the daily. Look, close above on the daily. Okay, let me look for entry in the swing entry. Of course, it won't always work, but it's a good way for people to use as an extra indicator to add to the tool. But yeah, that's all it is with the EMAs, right? I personally don't use them. The reason why I don't use them is because I'm not quite comfortable with price action, clean price action. I'm not a huge fan of EMAs and stuff. If I do recommend you use something, I'd say they use the EMA9 is arguably the best one to really use. Other than that, I don't really use EMAs myself, personally. But yeah, if you want to use it, you're more than welcome to. You could use this video as a guide to help you understand what an EMA is, how to use it to your advantage, etc. I hope you guys enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Peace.